Hi, I'm Bradley from Bradley's Game Room.
And I'm Ember with Coffee and Tiaras.
And together,
we are Escape Velocity Travels.
Today we're going to be blasting into Disney's lightning lanes.
So if you don't know anything about it and would love to learn more, grab a cup of coffee and come join us.
So, Disney lightning lanes. We have been through it all. We've been through FastPasses. We've been through Genie Plus. Now, this last, couple weeks ago,
yeah,
we experienced lightning lanes. We were able to book those. So, of course, FastPasses started out, and it was, you book them so many days out, you get 3 of them, and then as you use them, you can book the next one. Then Genie Plus came out, and it was just completely different.
Yeah.
You had to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
That was crazy.
To where you can try and book your rides. And you
for that day.
Right. Only for that day. And yeah, that was just nuts. Trying to book the ride you wanted to book. And then once you used one, you could book the next one. So that's not too bad, but it was like you didn't know the price until the day of. At 7 o'clock in the morning when you went to book it. And
if you had
you couldn't plan.
You couldn't plan if you had reservations. That happened to us a couple of times.
You have Crystal Palace reservations in the morning at 8, but then you booked, I don't know, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at 8:30. You ain't making it there.
Right.
Well, you wouldn't make it there anyway. But that's besides the point. You get what I'm saying. If you book Seven Dwarfs at 9, you still ain't making it there. It's across the park. So it really kind of puts made it hard to plan. And we did it, and it sent us all over the damn park. We were all over the place.
We were running ragged. We brought our kids. They were like, please.
It's like, whew. But so that was Genie's Plus experience. And of course, it wasn't free anymore like FastPass was. So it was more difficult, harder to plan, and not free.
Yeah.
Obviously, people didn't like it.
Right. We could see why they didn't like it.
They wanted to put the genie back in the bottle. So they came out with Lightning Lane, which they didn't have to rename the lanes because they were already calling Genie Plus Lightning
Lane. I know. I think that's so confusing.
So I think that works. But Lightning Lanes basically took everything that FastPass was and makes you pay for it.
Yeah.
So it kind of...
It bridged the gap. Yeah.
It allows you to book 7 days out. I actually have some footage of us booking ours. And once you use it, once you use the ride or once you go on a ride, you can book the next one for that day.
As soon as you scan your van.
That being said, too, 7 days out means 7 days from the start of your trip, you can book your entire trip's worth of FastPasses, 3 a day. Mm-hmm. I said FastPasses, Lightning Lane.
And that's only if you book to stay on property. If you stay off property, then it's 3 days from your trip. So you're going to run into some issues there, I think, because the people going that same week as you, if they're staying on property, they already booked up. And I see a lot of people, having a hard time getting the rides they want because of it.
I mean, we didn't have any issues when we went.
No.
I mean, 7 days out, got on, was able to book everything we wanted to book.
Yeah.
It's like Magic Kingdom Day. It was a little bit chaotic on Magic Kingdom Day because of the way things were oriented. We were at Crystal Palace. We went to Haunted Mansion. Then we came back to Pirates. And then we went to...
Yeah, that was a little zigzaggy.
And then we went to Tiana's.
Yes.
But the main thing there was because... So, with Lightning Lane, you can only book one Tier 1 attraction when you first book.
Yeah.
So... 7 days out in the morning, you get on, you can book all of your days. So if you're staying 1 day or 5, you can book everything.
Book the whole time you're going to be there.
So obviously I would go for the ones you want to book first. So it'd be like, hey, look, on day 3 I'm going to Magic Kingdom and I want to ride Tiana's. Go to day 3 Magic Kingdom, book your Lightning Lane for Magic Kingdom on that day, and try and find Tiana. I did it in order. So I started with the first day and went forward because there wasn't anything that was like must have for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's say like Hollywood Studios. Slinky Dog is a tier 1 ride. So I booked that first. And the thing with that is since it's a tier 1, it also goes faster. So the rest of the rides kind of fall in line from that.
Yeah.
Oh, like Tiana. Tiana's the one I booked first on Magic Kingdom Day. So that got booked around 11 o'clock. But I still had a morning open. So whenever I went to book Haunted Mansion, it was like, hey, you still have 9 o'clock open. So you could book there.
Yeah.
And that's what's nice about it, too. It does give you
Suggestion.
your best time for it, not just its best time.
Oh, okay.
So it will place it in your schedule. So that's a little bit of that Genie magic that got carried over, I think. Because FastPasses didn't do that. You had to select your time range and then select a time from that.
Because is it also like reading off of like if you have dining reservations and stuff like that?
I don't think it is. Yeah, because it was definitely booking stuff during what we would have been dining. So I had to move it a bit.
Gotcha.
But still worked really well.
Yeah.
And then when we went, it felt like nobody was using Lightning Lane.
Yeah.
Because we were able to constantly book the next ride. Every time we used it, we booked. And that's another note, too. When you first book, you can only book one tier 1 ride. But after you use up your first ride, you can book any ride.
Yeah. When you're there, yeah.
So when you're there and you ride your first ride, you can book any ride. It could be a tier 1 or not. It doesn't matter. So
that's good to know. But yeah, I feel like the parks we went, it was September, and the parks, it was packed. Even the cast members were.
Oh, it was elbow to elbow. It was crazy sometimes.
They weren't even expecting it to be that packed because they're like, this is normally like our downtime. So they were kind of surprised, and we were too. We were hoping we were missing some of the crowds. But like you said, we purchased the Lightning Lane, and as many people as that they had there, it felt like nobody else
with
was
Genie Plus
doing the Lightning Lane.
And FastPasses both, it always felt like there was still a line.
Yes, we were always waiting.
With Lightning Lane, I don't know if it was just the time we went or nobody else was using it or what, but it was walk on. Every ride we went on was walk on.
I know
which makes it 100% worth the price, right?
I know.
So,
and I think that's what a lot of people want to know: is it worth it? And I think you have to think of what do you want out of your park day? You know, what time of the year you're going. Personally, I think every time we go, I think we're going to be purchasing the Lightning Lane because we have 3 kids. I'm not waiting in line an hour for a ride. So for us, it'll be something that we'll probably always purchase whenever we go to the parks just because we have 3 kids and I am not waiting in line for 45 minutes to an hour with them. They just don't understand time and how long you have to wait. And plus it just cuts into the rest of your day when you
takes
want to
away
plan.
from the experience of Disney. You're already paying so much, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember exactly how much a park ticket goes for. And that kind of throws it too. I'm not sure why Disney took that out of the price of a park ticket. Because that's basically what happened, right? They're charging you extra now, so it's not part of the price of the ticket.
Yeah.
If they would have raised the ticket, depending on where you're going, by $22 to $30 for Magic Kingdom, $22 for whatever Hollywood Studios, $16 for Animal Kingdom, and just gave everybody access to it. 7 days out, you can book it. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. See, remember back when we did the FastPass, we struggled to get passes.
And that's true too.
There, because everybody got a chance to have it, we could barely book anything. Which
it's one of those things, though. It just becomes like
catch-22.
You have to be in the know. If you're in the know, then you know to add that to your ticket price.
Yeah.
And to plan for that to be part of your ticket, because otherwise you're going to sit in lines for hours, and that's not really the Disney experience.
Yeah, there's no magic, and people, I think, get disgruntled, and
especially whenever you see somebody else go on that lightning lane and just walk right past you.
Yeah, because I know we literally, when I tell you, we just walked right on. It probably took us like 5 minutes just because we had to walk through the entire queues. That's it.
Yeah,
and then we did rider switch. So then we were coming off, and then we would split up and then go with our other. Each of us would take one and go on the ride. So that was.
And I mean,
nice
Disney's not all about the rides, right?
No, and that's what I was saying. Like, it depends on what you want in your experience.
Right.
If you're going there just to eat the food and see the sights, then don't spend that extra money.
A ride or two
right.
here and there. Just pick your rides wisely. Understand that the rides you're going to be going on, you're going to be waiting in the queue. So make sure it's a queue you want to wait in.
Right.
Some queues are worth the wait. Like Frozen Ever After's queues, kind of cool.
Yeah.
You got Winnie the Pooh's, cool for kids. It got a
lot of activities. Yeah.
Flight of Passage has a really cool one.
The Avatar one.
Yeah. I mean, for Rise of the Resistance, that one has a decent queue.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they make it interesting, for the people who are waiting in line, I think as best as they can.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when you have littles, I think it's sometimes hard still to keep their attention and, like, why are we waiting in line and stuff. And we know when we go, we want to ride the rides. We do want to take in the experience, but the kids, they're just like, okay, what's next? So we're like, okay, let's.
It's a good mix, right? And it allows you to take in the experience while riding the rides. Mm-hmm. So you get both.
Yeah.
Because it makes it to where you dictate the pace of your riding.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah. I mean, I think it's worth it for us in the experience that we want, but it's not for everybody.
Right.
Especially it is a big cost. We went.
It tacks on a good bit. Like I said, $30 extra a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we spent that much. I think it was $22 for Magic Kingdom. I don't remember exactly, but
what I was going to say too is it's not just those rides; they have the individual rides.
Well, that's a thing too. All right, so yes, you have your tier 1s that you can ride, that you pick one of, and then you pick 2 of whatever other ride. Once you use your tier 1, you can use it again.
Yeah.
Not necessarily your tier 1. Once you ride the first ride, you can book any ride after that, except for certain rides.
Yeah.
There are, and this is another note too, there is a single lightning lane purchase that you can make to where you can buy one lightning lane. Those rides are Flight of Passage, Tron, Rise of the Resistance,
Seven
Dwarfs Mine Train, and not sure if there's any other ones.
Guardians
of the Galaxy, and Remy. So those rides are like top tier. They're higher than the 1 tier, and you can only get lightning lanes by doing the single lightning lane. Yeah. So, in other words, multi lightning lane, which I didn't mention it in that form. That's what we got. We got multi lightning lane. That allows you to book 3 at a time and all that. Now, for those higher tier ones that aren't on the multi list, they are more expensive. Like, I think 7 Dwarfs cost us $16 a piece to get on Lightning Lane for that. So, that can get a bit much. I think that's the extra side of things,
Yeah.
I would always book in multi-lane at this point as part of the ticket price.
Right.
So anytime I'm buying a ticket or going through a process of doing tickets, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm staying for 5 days. My average price for a lightning lane is going to be an extra $30 a person. Make sure I can handle that and account for it on our end, just because we know that we are the people that like the rides and the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
So, and our kids won't stay in lines. And that'll allow us to have the experience we want to have.
Right.
Now, as far as the extra, that'll be a every now and then thing on case by case kind of.
And I think we did it this past time because it was just a small trip that we took our kids on. It was a surprise
we went for
trip
3 days, so
that they
it
didn't
wasn't
even
long.
know. And our 4-year-old could finally ride some of the bigger rides that he had been wanting to.
Our 4-year-old could ride the rides. It was our daughter's birthday. And our youngest one's first time at Disney.
So a lot of celebration.
A lot of Disney. Yeah.
So, and that's why we picked up some of the bigger ones, like Seven Dwarfs. We did do that one.
For my son, who just got big enough to ride them.
He loved it.
He was such a fan. He was ready to go.
They're all ready to go back. They've been like, can we go back? When can we go?
Yeah.
But, yeah, so.
End of the day, Lightning Lane worth it?
For me, yes. If you like to ride the rides, I mean, at least hands down, at least for the multi-pass, I don't know. Some of those individual ones, I think those are worth it too. Just because those are going to be the rides that have like the longest wait times. You know, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, I think that day it was like a 75-minute wait all day. And I've seen it go up higher.
Oh, I mean, for Mount Everest, we went on. The line was out to the bridge, and me and my daughter went on it twice because they didn't want to go on it.
Well, we realized our 4-year-old
couldn't
go on it
for him.
We booked it thinking he was tall enough. When we got there, he wasn't, so we couldn't use his.
So
and
me and my daughter took their vans, and we used their passes to get on it. And we saw people in line that were looking at us like they were just on it, like and we were passing them up again, like before they made it from the bridge into the dang actual queue. Yeah, we had been on it twice.
That's crazy. So I mean, I think it's really worth it. How do you feel?
100% worth it. Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would factor that into my price of admission.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a little hack that I had just heard about after we went.
Okay.
So,
I love a good hack.
Apparently, when you book a Lightning Lane, if you have Park Hopper, once you book it and you use your first ride, you can book any ride in Disney World, not just at the park you're at.
Oh, okay.
Because you have Park Hopper. So the thought there is Animal Kingdom always has the lowest amount for Lightning Lane, for the multi-Lightning Lane. Because of this, you can go to Animal Kingdom. Use up your first pass of the day at 8 o'clock in the morning on Triceratops Spin.
Okay.
Okay. Get on it. Quick. And as soon as you're on it, book Magic Kingdom rides.
Okay.
That way you're paying your $12 fee for your $30 ticket.
Hey, that's a good, especially if you're doing Park Hopper. Now, the thing is
that you are doing Park Hopper, so you have to have that extra expense of the Park Hopper. So I'm not sure exactly how much money that saves you if you weren't going to do Park Hopper beforehand. But, you know, if you were already planning to spend only half a day at Animal Kingdom and then go over to Magic Kingdom, it makes sense to do it that way.
I think for sure, because especially if you're trying to do 2 parks in one day, I would think you're doing it because you're trying to ride certain rides.
Maybe you have a limited amount of time that you can be there for, or whatever.
And you're trying to get it done.
And the key thing there is you can buy it just for Animal Kingdom, but since you have Park Hopper, it opens up after your first ride is done.
That's good to know.
7 days out, you can only book the 3 for the first park you're going to. So if you book for Animal Kingdom, you have to book all 3 for Animal Kingdom.
Gotcha.
But once you use that first one, then you can book for whatever else.
Okay, well, good to know.
Haven't tried it myself. You know, I don't know if we'd ever really do Park Hopper. I think Park Hopper is a hassle, honestly.
Yeah.
Jumping from one thing, but I completely understand it on limited time.
Oh, yeah. And I think our kids are still just too young. I feel like...
Yeah. Or if you're in the right spot. Yeah. Like, if you're staying at, what we're planning to next time, staying at Beach Club, you're right there in between Hollywood Studios and Epcot.
True.
So to park hop between those,
Yeah, might have to consider that for next time.
might not be too bad. So yeah, 100% would recommend Lightning Lanes,
Absolutely.
and a whole lot of other stuff. We have a lot coming your way. We just came back from Disney. Our next segment's going to be about Port Orleans.
Yeah.
We went out to Port Orleans, and we are from Louisiana. So if you want your insider tip on how Port Orleans stacks up to the real thing,
Yeah.
come join us for next time.
I'm excited.
Until that, we'll see you real soon.
See you real soon.